already met with top Democratic leaders before the shutdown.
But that was a 1-hour meeting where he basically said, here's our bill, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
That's not a negotiation.
Yeah.
Schumer has shown no indication whatsoever that he's changed his posture from that day. So talking with him and trying to negotiate is a waste of time.
Air traffic controllers exasperated as they work without pay.
The pressure is real. We have people trying to keep these airplanes safe, now having to worry about how they're going to pay bills.
25 states are suing the Trump administration to compel the release of emergency food aid.
The government shutdown is stretching into another week. Food aid programs are on the edge, and federal workers are unpaid. And every network says something else is at fault. Tonight, we are looking at how two major outlets told the same story and what they both might be missing. Let's jump in.
Which expires Saturday.
100% unequivocally, USDA does not have the $9.2 billion that it would require.
Chef Jose Andres says he will feed federal workers.
Fox framed the fight as Washington gridlock hurting working families and said Democrats won't move.
One Democrat disturbed, it's come to this.
They're actually feeding government workers that haven't been paid yet. I mean, that's the absurdity of this.
Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia ripped House GOP leaders today. Greene said the party, quote, wasted its majority by keeping the House out for 5 weeks. Brett?
Chad program live on Capitol Hill. Chad, thank you. 85% of your fellow Americans say the recent surge of political violence is worsening as both sides trade blame. The situation was the subject of a Senate hearing today on Capitol Hill. Correspondent David Spun shows us tonight from Washington.
In a fractured nation's capital, paralyzed by a government shutdown, both sides of the aisle came together to agree political violence in the United States needs to be stopped.
It is motivated by a distinct and fanatical ideology. It is the fault of both parties in differing degrees.
Both parties also playing the blame game.
Chuck Schumer said about Supreme Court justices the following: I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
Chuck Schumer, using self-interrogation, said, I was wrong. I've never seen the President of the United States who has spoken about punching people in the face, who has said a lot of violent rhetoric, has never given that type of self-interrogation.
Second Trump term has been a national nightmare, and the notion that the American people will have to experience more of what they are dealing with right now. Largest cut to Medicaid in American history, Republican healthcare crisis, threatening to starve children and seniors and veterans.
MSNBC framed Republicans weaponizing hunger as threatening healthcare access. Same crisis, different villain.
By cutting off SNAP, the fact that costs haven't gone down, they're going up. The assault on all of the things, the American way of life, law-abiding immigrant families, democracy itself, the rule of law. It's all a nightmare.
You know, again, and it does. It echoes what was said last week by Catherine Clark, you just mentioned, who basically said, you know, this is going to be really painful and unpleasant for families across this country, but it's our key point of leverage. They're looking at this like it's some sort of political game, and where, you know, where there are winners and losers of the political game, whereas we look at this as real impacts on real families and people in this country.
Well, it does.
And it becomes more real, and the consequences become more real over time. I mean, what they just said, they said the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
These people are looking at this as a political game, Martha, and it's not.
Hey, let me play this for you. Talk about real people and the impact. This is Sherry Jablonski. She's a SNAP benefits recipient. She's a widow. She's retired, and her income comes from Social Security and pension from her husband. And here's what she had to say on this. Watch.
I usually have my mother over for Thanksgiving, and I don't even know how I'm going to do that. There's no way I can afford a turkey and to cook extra stuff here. There's no way I can do it. You really didn't think this through very well. You really didn't.
Every network turns hardship into ammunition. The truth gets drowned out by the blame.
Tomorrow, part of the problem, of course, is that Republicans, as you've pointed out, have been on vacation for the last 6 weeks, canceled votes for the last 5 weeks. It's extraordinary. They're nowhere to be found. But the money already exists to ensure that SNAP benefits continue through November 1st into November.
is a pressure point to solve the shutdown, especially since federal workers are still not receiving a paycheck.
I think this is the biggest pressure point that we've seen in, 28 days or whatever. So sooner or later, they'll come to their senses and vote for the American people, but that's yet to be seen.
But Democrats are not ready to vote to reopen the government. They believe the White House can free up funds for SNAP. Democrats still demand money to block spiking health care premiums.
70 different times since 2010 over the last 15 years. It's the same group of people who, as a result of their policies from the One Big Ugly Bill, are causing hospitals and nursing homes and community-based health centers to close all throughout America, including in rural parts of their country, in Louisiana, in their own communities. It's the same group of people, of course, who have triggered the possibility of a $536 billion cut to Medicare if Congress doesn't act at the end of this year because of the One Big Ugly Bill. It's a Republican healthcare crisis that's devastating rural America, urban America, small town America, working class America, the heartland of America, and Black and brown communities throughout America. So it's laughable for them to argue that they have a healthcare plan designed to make life better for the American people. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is correct. That is nowhere to be found.
Same shutdown, two stories, millions caught in the middle. If you want more breakdowns without the spin, hit subscribe. This is The Unfiltered Take.